Greetings, dear brothers and sisters, dear sons and daughters in the light. I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. And here you are in these most beautiful places and spaces of learning. Taking in deeper spiritual truth is what many desire to do at this time. Learning about their deepest states within themselves. To reach higher consciousness, this is what you desire too. So many people are asking the Divine, Divine, show us please how to rise higher, how to reach within our hearts greater, so that we can hear you more clearer, so that we can grow in the love of the great love and the greater light. So, dear friends, here you are in these spaces. These spaces we call as Divine Masters, accelerated learnings, as if you are in a university of light. These teachings are the highest teachings you can have at this time for spiritual learning, and they're going to rise in times coming. We, as divine beings, will take you up to the greater teachings. Once you can understand the teachings we are bringing through at this time, for we are guiding you every step of the way. I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, am an incredibly high divine being of greatness and greater love. And I am here to share the messages of greatness with you, and to guide many, many millions to the greatness, to the great mountain of light, so that you sigh and happiness and relief and gratitude when you see all these things that we promised to you a long time ago taking place. When, Lord, will all these things come about? I say to you, they are coming about at this time, because we always said the day will come when we will call to the little children, and you will recognize the greatness. And no greater call will there be other than from the Divine Sovereign Lord Himself. But will the children learn to recognize it? We wonder. Will the children learn to understand that what we say is truth and nothing else but truth? Will the children of the light see that when a divine sovereign being says, this is truth, that it is truth? We cannot speak untruth to you. How can we? Every word that is uttered from the mouth of this channel is truth, for she is in deep stages of love trance, together with my being, and I will state here that no other channel upon your earth can reach as high as my designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel. And so here you are in these spaces being called by the Divine. And here you are asking my being, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, teach us how to go up higher into the spaces within us. Within you is a great space of divine love, friend. It is so sacred within you that you cannot understand it on a human level, how sacred your sacred heart is. But your heart, as you know, lie on many different dimensions. See yourself for a moment outside of your human spaces as divine beings in the greatness. Not just one divine being, but many. Say, for instance, you had 12 divine beings upwards. Depending on your evolution, depends how many times you multiply to become more divine. And this is what you called acceleration, ascension in the divine levels. Now, after the great alignment upon your earth, which will come in the next few years, and you must come together to the great divine pineal gland activations to come into the greatness, into the great collective love consciousness that we've always taught you about, even thousands of years ago. After this happens, you can multiply even greater as divine beings. For you accelerate upwards, and you desire nothing else but to evolve into the greatest spaces, to gain greater knowledge, greater wisdom, greater love consciousness. And the higher you go, the more you understand the oneness. And in each dimensional flow, you gain a greater understanding of the greater oneness. But the dimensions aren't limited. They carry on expanding. And after the great alignment happening upon your earth, all the divine elements, the divine beings, star realms, everything will accelerate upwards into a new creation of being, which means you can multiply yourself many times over to gain greater understanding on levels you've not discovered before. So I've taken you outside of your physical self for a moment, seeing yourself up in the higher realms. And when you meditate upon yourself as being a greater being, already you are finding a greater space within you, because you are accepting that you're not only human. The human itself is so small in comparison to all that you are, the higher levels. You're so grand and perfect. The human self, however, is very important to your evolution. Your human self is here to bring the greater gifts through from the divine. For here you are accelerating with your evolution. Well, the vibrational spaces, as you know, are not very high upon your earth. You are here to bring it together into the great oneness. This is why the great healings are taking place. The great ascension is happening, not from a human perspective, but from a divine perspective. You've already heard the lessons taking place. I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, am also speaking about these most beautiful sovereign energies. And each human here upon this earth, whether they know it or not, consciously or unconsciously, desires to understand a deeper purpose. And when you begin to question and you go within your heart, you will find that deepest space. And it is within that deepest space you will feel yourself expanding. Which is why meditation is so important, as you know. So many people fear going within, as if they lose themselves once they go into those depths of those spaces. But you will not lose yourself. You will find your greater depth. And your greater depth is all wisdom, all greatness, all love, and powerful within itself. This is what you must be willing to explore, the power of your deeper selves. And it is this we are taking you to in the beautiful healings with Caeayaron, who is the powerful aligner upwards. He is the great awakening master. He is magnetic forces, magnetic frequencies. And he has created all the grid spaces, as you know. He was assigned that so long ago. When I stated to Caeayaron, "Go, my son of the light, go and create all the thoughts of the divine. Go and create all of it, and then bring back its perfect self in all its creation, so that all thoughts of the divine may expand upwards and become more holy, so that the great divine takes those thoughts and looks at those thoughts and says, how perfect everything is. Now I can create my greater creation in all of wisdom and power and love." When is this moment? It is almost here, and all the universes align together. This is the great oneness. It is the great unity, not only on your planet. Your planet is so small, like your human selves. Your human selves is only a tiny fraction of what you really are. It's not truly your human ascension you're concerned about in the greater realms. It's your greater ascension upwards, and it's bringing together all the beautiful realms. It is then you can go deeper within together and find the deeper power of creation to create upwards and magnificent. This is what the divine source calls the new creation, where everything begins again in a higher sense, not erasing all that has been, for all that has been is so perfect within itself. It is so beautiful, it is so high. How can it erase something when it is so much part of itself? Divine never erases. However, it adds, it creates new, with awakened power. It brings all that has been into a greater existence. And you, friends upon the earth, dear brothers and sisters, dear awakening people, are part of this new creation. So here I am, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, the highest messenger of all the beings that could possibly come to you to bring through words and thoughts. Whether you accept it or not, it simply is. And when we state it is, there is no other way. I say through my designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, that it is time to bring you into the greatness and to understand how important you are to the Great Father and to all of creation and to all of the new creation upwards. For you are going to discover much in the coming few months and few years. Like we as Divine Masters often say, what you know at this time of your deepest spiritual self and your spiritual consciousness is this little. But are you open enough with your most beautiful mind to go greater, wider, higher, longer? So many people are not. They truly believe they are on a deeper spiritual path, but they are not willing to accept my designated channel. She's always been my channel. She's always been the channel of the divine. And here she is again. Many had not expected the divine, sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great to return at this time to the people, to guide them to greater ways of consciousness, to guide them to the higher cycle of evolution. Many refused to believe a channel would stand up, and how brave she is, for only a few at this time are willing to accept my return and my channel. So many say, but how, Lord, is this possible? Are you truly from the divine realms of greatness as you state you are? I say to you, my dear children, of course I am. I've always stated I would return, as I had a channel before, and one example was Jesus 2,000 years ago. I will state I have returned again through the same manner. Why would I change my ways when my ways are already perfect and the channel has already been created? Why would the divine change its ways when it's so perfect already and it's becoming more perfect? So learn from these lessons and learn to expand your mind towards higher lessons still. For if you cannot grasp these lessons, how will you grasp the lessons coming? For we are taking you upwards. We desire you to understand new awakening revelations. But will you accept it, or will you deny it? It is your choice after all. However, it must must be said that here it is important to begin to listen. For the people must become unified. The people must learn to understand the divine truths and ways, which may not always be the human thoughts. For human thoughts are very beautiful, but they are only a small percentage of all that is. In the divine realms of love and light. So learn, meditate, be, accept, love, unify with others, and become great and greater still. For the pathway to all the greatness is opening up before you. Will you join the great path? Will you climb the greatest spiritual mountain? Or will you stay behind, always hungering for spiritual food and spiritual wine? And that was my teaching for this evening. Learn to listen, learn to be, and learn to love always. Greetings, I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great.